he hit him? Excuse me. Did he hit him? Someone tell me he hit him. And I'll tell you all crack.
Pascal.
This just happened at the Miami International Airport, where there was a full-on brawl that broke out between a cop and a passenger, or a traveler. And yeah, this is the kind of craziness that we're seeing nowadays, all the time. How many times are we going to see brawls, fights, people protesting in stupid, ignorant ways at the airport? I mean, at some point, this stuff's got to stop, right? It's got to stop. Island boy, because I'm an island boy. All right, so here it is. I'm going to stop, Nat. Damn. I can't live. Let me live. Damn. Okay, so moving on. So, moment cop pulls out his gun. Not going to do it. Moment where a cop pulls out his gun on a quote-unquote unruly passenger during wild brawl at Miami International Airport, which broke out after a passenger stole keys to a transport golf cart. I am not kidding you. Bing bong. Not kidding. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Anyway, the passenger, or a traveler, okay, literally stole keys to a golf cart, to an airport golf cart. It's nuts, okay? Now, cops responded to a disturbance at the Miami International Airport departure gate over a delayed chartered flight. They then found an unruly passenger who had taken keys to a transport golf cart. Footage shows a man wrestling with an officer in the middle of the brawling crowd. I don't know how it went from two men, like literally there's two men fighting, and actually there's a boy that gets stuck in between them, right? But there's two men fighting, and then all of a sudden everyone just starts fighting each other. It just doesn't make any sense. It don't make any sense. Like they all turn and just start beating each other up. A brawl starts between two men, and then all of a sudden everybody else starts. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Like, what's going on? How does that happen? How? Okay. So, two individuals alleged to be involved in the brawl were taken into custody. This comes after Attorney General told prosecutors to prioritize crimes on flights following a spike in violence. We've been seeing nothing but viral videos of just jerks. I want to say other words, but jerks having fights on planes. And of course, we've seen other ones where people are just lashing out, throwing those little divider poles all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Throwing them at airport of employees and stuff like that. I don't even know what the names are. But real talk, all of a sudden, people just start fighting, and it doesn't make any sense. So we're going to look at this brawl. Because like I said, it's just two dudes at first, and then everybody starts fighting each other. It makes no bloody sense. So I just wanted to see if there was any good stills, because I think there was like a little boy got stuck in between these people, these two guys, the cop and the passenger, this unruly passenger. But like I said, it is nuts. Okay, so that's funny. That commercial, shout out to my boy Zachary. That was my boy Zachary. I'm not kidding. That was my boy Zachary, that commercial. Random. Anyway, random as hell. But here goes the brawl. They're right here. Here he goes. When's he going to pull out that gun? Bang. Pulls out the gun, y'all. I mean, can't we all just figure out a way to say what we need to say, or get whatever we need to get out of our system without actually throwing fists, without actually acting a damn fool up in this piece? Why is it always got to turn into these moments like this where the dude pulls out a gun and does all this stuff? Like, real talk. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Aren't you supposed to, like, the dude was not, sure, the dude was fighting you, sure. But you pull out a gun, like, you pull out a gun and you're pointing at a group of people. You're not pointing it at just one person. You're pointing it at everybody and saying, you come closer to me, I'm going to kill, I'm going to shoot you. Come on, y'all. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, it looked like the whole airport was ready to go after him at that point. The officer, I mean,
right?
Not the guy that he was fighting. Everyone was going after the officer.
Man, you know what? Just for Latif, I'm gonna run it back. He said, "Run it back." I'm gonna run it back for you, bruh. We're gonna role play. We're gonna run it back. See, so they break free, and then the cop gets some distance, and suddenly he just pulls out his gun. Like, I don't understand that. And from what I see in the video, it looks like a lot of people are just trying to stop them from brawling. That's what it seems like. It seems like they're trying to pull people off of, like, they're trying to pull these guys away from each other and trying to stop the fight from happening, because there's another angle that I haven't found yet, but there's another angle where the cop swings at the guy, just straight up swings at him. And then the whole brawl starts. That's it. See, that's some wild stuff, man. That's some wild stuff. Hold up. I need to find there's got to be another. I know that there's another angle. So there is another angle, and this is the beginning of the fight, which I do appreciate. Again, shout out to Infinite Content one more time. But you can see they're having a conversation, because he's got the guy, this traveler, this disgruntled traveler is holding the keys to a golf cart, to an airport golf cart. All right, sure, you can get there's a fine of, I think, something like $30,000 of some sort of fine if you're found guilty of doing something like that, tampering with airport equipment of any type, of any sort. He is standing on top of, it looks like, the actual golf cart itself. He, from my understanding, is very upset that his flight has been delayed for, if I understand correctly, for more than 10 hours. So this guy's he's teed off. All right. This man angry. And look at the little boy, by the way. Remember the little boy. That's a very important piece here too. Okay. So he has the keys to this golf cart. He's angry about the delays in his flights. He's trying to travel, trying to get to his family for the holidays. There are 30 million people traveling right now at the same damn time for the holidays to get to their destinations and all that stuff. And yeah, it's the holiday season.
En la cabeza. Escúchame. Aquí no listen to
Okay. Now let me roll this back, because this is a very important part. Because in my mind, it does not look like this guy is being violent. It does not look like this guy's being violent in my mind at all. To me, it looks like this dude is grabbing to get his attention, like grabbing his hand, not being aggressive. But I could be wrong. We're gonna look at it. Let's look at it again because I could be wrong, y'all. Okay. But this cop, to me, looks like this cop pounced on that ass. I'm gonna keep it real. Pounced on it. Let's go.
En la cabeza. Escúchame. Aquí, no, listen to me.
Grabbed his arm. In my mind, it did not look like assault, but let's continue. Gun out and everything. Gun out and everything. I mean, this ain't even done yet. I don't even know what happens further on, but real talk. This dude just said, hey, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm just trying to talk to you. Listen to me. And he just grabbed his arm. Like, hey, don't walk away. Just talk to me. Listen to me with what I'm saying. And then he just lunged. And then the baby, the little kid, is scrunched between those two guys as the cop is trying to do whatever he's trying to do to the guy. To me, Popo snapped. That's what I think. He full on snapped up in this piece.
Eres un abusador.
You hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? This cop said he hit me first. We're at where? We're at 110. We're going to go back to the top real quick, and then we're going to finish it out. But I want to see, did he hit him first? Look at this. We're going to go back. See little kid, little boy. He gets scrunched in between these two guys. This cop didn't give two Fs about nobody. Let's look at it again. Did he hit him?
En la cabeza. Escúchame. Aquí, no, listen to me.
Did he hit him? Excuse me. Did he hit him? Someone tell me he hit him. And I'll tell you all crack. He didn't hit him at all. He grabbed his arm.
Yeah, the cop started it.
Facts. We going back to the 110. Bruh said he hit me. This dude had the audacity to say that this man who yes, he's not happy. Okay? He's not happy. Right? I get that. Allegedly he's holding on these keys to this golf cart. Not cool. But he's breaking some sort of, he's obviously breaking some laws on that part. But did he hit this cop? No. But this cop is sitting here going, oh, no, he hit me. That's why I lunged at him. He could have easily just detained the dude and called it a damn day. But no, he had to start swinging. And then everybody jumped in to try to protect the man who's getting put into a chokehold. And of course, he's going into fight mode. He didn't do anything wrong. But this cop has the audacity to say this. Liars. Lies.
Él le dio a ella. Él le dio a ella.
No. I bet you if he was black, he'd be on top of him. Yeah. He'd be on top of him.
Él le dio a él. Abusador.
Si es negro, si hubiera sido negro, él no se hubiera pasado.
Pero ¿cómo le va a dar golpe al muchacho? ¿Por qué? Mira, llévate el video para que lo demande.
Suban los videos, todo el mundo suba los videos.
One more time.
Aquí, no.
So he's like, listen to me right now.
Listen to me.
And he says, listen to me. Okay. So it's done. That cop's career is over. Officially. Consider it done. Okay. So real quick, this shocking moment in a moment, a Miami cop pulled his gun out on an unruly passenger during a brawl at an airport departure gate. Footage shows the officer retreat from a fight at Miami International Airport after being punched several times and drawing his weapon to shouts from stunned travelers. And I don't understand why he resorted to pulling out his gun. But here, most importantly, I don't understand why he resorted to punching this man in the face. Now, they're saying that this man had the keys to a golf cart. Don't know if that's entirely true or not, but let's look into this. 2 individuals alleged to have been involved in a brawl were taken into custody, Miami-Dade Police Department said. Now, here's the thing. It's very, very interesting because here's a fun little thing that I'm going to say really quick. I don't know if you remember in August, the situation where there was a young black man that was basically curb stomped by a gang of police officers, right? Inside of a hotel lobby. And they beat the crap out of this guy. All right. Well, the young man is going to be on the show tomorrow morning to speak his side of the story. This also happened in Miami as well. Apparently, Miami PD is pretty damn dirty. And they like to say certain things that are not true to cover their own asses. So this young man, Delante, is going to be on the show live, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, to speak his truth, to say what really happened before he got curb stomped in that hotel lobby. Just want to let you guys know that. So please be sure to tune in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, because that is going to be one hell of a conversation. But do we know if he really had the keys to this golf cart or no? But you see it right there, the first shot. If he had the keys, sure, arrest him. But he didn't punch the guy. He didn't hit him. He didn't do anything. He didn't punch the cop. He didn't do anything. The cop punched him first. Let's move on, and I'll go to you, David. Give me 1 second. It comes amid the rise of violent passenger behavior in airports. Now, here's the thing, though. In his defense, in this passenger's defense, sure, he was unhappy. Sure, he was unruly. But was he the one that was being violent? No. He was angry. Sure, he's gesticulating with passion, right? He's angry about not being able to travel, and he's stuck in this airport with his family. And all he wants to do is get to his final destination, right? But that does not make him a violent passenger. The only reason why this man is, let's say, quote unquote, violent, this passenger, is because he's being attacked. He's being put in a chokehold by an unruly police officer. So they got this narrative all wrong. Tell me this. If a cop or anyone comes up to you, punches you in the face and puts you in a chokehold against your will, what you going to do? It's fight or flight, right? you want to live, right? You don't want to pass out. You instantly are going to protect yourself. So of course he's going to start swinging to protect himself. This quote unquote unruly passenger didn't do anything wrong except for being upset from what we see right now. So at the gate, they then found a passenger who had allegedly taken the keys to a transport golf cart and was not allowing the officer to leave. I'm sorry, I see something completely different. I see a man angry, trying to talk to this guy. Yeah, he's arguing with the cop. Sure, he's arguing with the cop. But there's no law that says you can't argue with a cop. You're not breaking any laws if you're sitting there saying, hey, these are my thoughts to a cop. But apparently, like I'm telling you about tomorrow morning, apparently a cop can find any excuse under the sun to bury you. Just like this officer that suddenly said, oh, no. He hit me first. No, he didn't. David, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I would say this is a problem that has been growing, especially over the past year with police in general. For this specific case, first off, I would say that, the cop started this one. If he was even there because the guy took a key or whatever, he's trying to walk away. He's trying to leave. He's not trying to perform an arrest. He's trying to ignore the guy talking to him. And that's when he decides to strike. So if he is there because he took some sort of key or whatever, then he's not acting like he's there to get a key back. He's acting like he's there to just yell at the guy. And then when he tries to leave, he hits him. And I think we've been seeing this a lot lately, especially with the reaction. I think that if the officer had fired that weapon, he would have probably been torn apart by that crowd. And I think we're getting closer, unfortunately, to that kind of point, especially if you look at places like Miami and through California, where over the past year and a half, police have been getting more and more aggressive against people, and people are getting fed up with government violence against individuals. And we've seen this a few times where officers start fights in places and then hundreds, if not thousands of people just end up surrounding them. They pull their gun and act like they're the ones being accosted, even though they started a fight. That's not really how it works. If you start a fight, you don't usually get to decide how the other people is going to respond. You don't decide how the fight's going to end. The other people do. And that's kind of what happened here. He decided to start a fight, but it's not up to him how the fight ends because he's only one person against a crowd. Yeah. And he's the one starting it on top of that. So, like I said, there's been other cases of this in California and Florida lately. I mean, all over the country. But those are the ones that stood out to me the most just because of how large the crowd was responding to the officers. And in a lot of these cases, it's not even I would say, like a political sides thing, because a lot of these crowds are, like multi-party or just large crowds of people, diverse people all together taking offense to the police. I think people are getting upset and tired of government overreach and violence against its citizens. And I think this is part of what we're seeing is with the whole crowd there rising up, getting ready to rise up against him. I mean, they're trying to stop the fight, but it's clear that everyone sees the officer in the wrong and everyone's trying to stop him. They're not trying to stop the guy he's fighting because he's the one that started the fight in the first place. And now he's the one that's pulling his gun. He's consistently escalating a nonviolent situation to a deadly position. And that was unnecessary. He decided to elevate everything to a deadly situation when he started off with a conversation. And the more and more police try to do this, the more I think we're going to see violence strike out against officers because no one is willing. I mean, you'll have people on the sides being, oh, you should comply to the officers and do all this. But there's really no one that once the officer decides to assault you, especially if they're in the wrong, that is going to be willingly to sit there and take a beating and get arrested because somebody decided to attack you. That's just not really how it works in the world. And this is going to keep happening. I think that we're going to keep seeing officers overextending their violence and abuse and large crowds of people starting to surround them. This is what we've seen all year. I mean, even ignoring the amount of ambushes officers have gone under through the past year, there's been large groups of people attacking officers that you didn't really see 2 years ago. And the population is supporting this to some degree because the officers are the ones that are causing a lot of these problems, especially if you consider, all the issues with, the illness and people losing houses and everything. The police are the ones enacting these things, kicking people out of houses, or on the other hand, forcing people to house individuals that aren't paying them. So everyone's angry at the police, and the police aren't doing anything to mitigate this other than being more aggressive and thinking that they should have more power over the individuals that are angry at their misbehavior. And it's just going to keep getting worse. I do imagine that we will see at some point large crowds of people, and I and I don't think it's going to be just like a one-sided political crowd. It's going to be just crowds of people of all kinds that we're going to see strike back against this violence at some point.
Yep. It's beautifully said, David. First off, beautifully said. I think that's one of the things that's so frustrating about this, right? Is that it's their word against a civilian's word, right? And instantly, the law seems to lean towards their version of the truth instead of the actual truth. This is the reason why it's more important than ever to pull out your phones, to start recording. Yes, I get it. It's obnoxious as hell, but you never know when you're going to catch something that's actually the truth. And when we saw the first video, right? We saw the first video of him just pulling out the gun, right? There's the scramble. He gets some distance away from the passenger. He pulls out his gun and he just starts pointing it at everybody, being like, back the F off, right? Now, when you see it in that way, it just looks like a cop that's being overwhelmed by a group of people that are trying to beat his ass. But then when you see somebody who is actually filming the right up and close to the situation, you actually see the truth. So no matter if he gets thrown into a jail, this passenger, and he's accused of certain things, we know the truth. We saw the angles. That's why I urge every person, every last one of y'all, please pull out the camera, pull out the phone. Start recording, because you never, ever know when that piece could save your life or keep you from going to jail. Because if that footage never came out, we would all be telling this story of like some crazy lunatic stole some keys and tried to beat up a cop in the Miami International Airport. But when you see that other angle, which obviously they're not even showing in that news article that I just read from, they're not showing that angle. The narrative is different, right? You don't notice that? But then you see the other angle and you're like, oh, no. The narrative changes. Instead of it, once again, here we go with another dude who's acting a fool and going crazy in the airport. Nah. This dude was mad, sure. Who doesn't get pissed off at the airport? I don't know how many times I have. It's like, it's delayed for how many hours? Man, I've had that. I've been angry, right? Now, whether or not this man had the keys to this golf cart, we do not know. But what you said earlier, David, is very true. If this was a situation where he did have the keys, that whole thing would have been different. He would have already been detained. He would have already been arrested. Why was the cop walking away instead of actually going towards him and just arresting him? Because he would have a reason to arrest him if that was the truth.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.